special episode of Merrill Production Outdoors Memorial Day special. We're cooking St. Louis ribs. We're cooking these on a propane grill. The way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to cut them out of the package, lay them flat on a pan, heavily cover them with Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Very generous amounts of putting onto it, and I'm going to also rub the seasoning into every crack and cranny on these ribs. Max in the most flavor of the seasoning as possible. I do the front, the back, and also the sides of it. You can see as I just heavily apply and rub it in. I would say this is somewhere between a quarter to half a cup of seasoning that I would recommend that I've probably put on top of these ribs. Into it. When I start searing these ribs to keep that crust in the right kind of outside looking color, starting to rub it into place, keeping it where it can get into every aspect of meat as possible, the fat areas and everywhere else. This fire is cranked up to 385 degrees, the perfect searing temperature in my opinion. I went ahead and put this on here. This will last for somewhere around 7 minutes. The goal and the magic in this process is to keep flipping vigorously and very often to keep from flame burning it and also drying out any of the fat that you're going to be using to keep the moisture inside the ribs. You're going to go backwards and forwards with this process for approximately 7 minutes, 6.5 minutes at 380. I would not close the grill head or the top. I would go ahead and leave this open where everything can let the flames come on up. You're not really worried about heat as much as you are just charring it at this point in time. This process is really as old as really barbecuing on the grill is. You will see in time what the magic does whenever you start putting this together, and it's truly magic whenever you put it in the tinfoil, which will be coming soon. Once I lay them into the tinfoil, this is where the tenderness comes into play and also the flavor is enhanced and locked into that meat whenever it's in the tinfoil. Now the ribs hit the tinfoil. I have a homemade sauce that I'm going to put inside these ribs while I wrap it up into this tinfoil. Inside of this clear plastic cup, there's a concoction that is made of A1 steak sauce, Heinz 57, oregano, and also some wishbone Italian dressing. So we're going to pour this on very thickly where it can sit in and have this flavor onto these ribs. The other half of that cup that I did not pour on there will be added on as these ribs are cooking inside this tinfoil to keep in moisture and improve tenderness over time. I use the tongs to spread this sauce evenly across the top of the ribs so that it can drain on both sides and get up underneath as well. As I start wrapping these ribs up, getting them ready to put back onto the grill, I also take 2 more layers of tinfoil and add to the top of them to keep all the moisture from escaping while they get cooked on this grill. Now back to the grill. As you can see, I leave these ribs on one side of the grill, and the other side has this flame going that's somewhere between 370 to 385 degrees. I'm going to cut that down slowly to make it around 275, 280. And I'm going to do this for the next 3 hours. Next, I'm putting down some Zomo's boudin. I really like this kind of boudin, and so does my family. So I go ahead and put it on the grill. Next, Cohancha hickory smoked sausage is really good, and that gets on the grill next as well. I take the ribs out of the tin foil, put them on the top rack, letting them go ahead and get back some heat going to them so they can start drip drying. The bark, the color, the texture. One rib bone has already fell out of it, so I know that they're tender. I flip this over and put the meat side down so that it's easier to see where you're cutting, so you don't hit the bone or have to struggle with it. A lot of people don't realize that this is a technique that most master butchers use. So here we go. Let's see how well it cuts through. Right down through there like it isn't much at all. Right through like butter. You can see the steam coming off of them. If that doesn't make your mouth water, I don't know what will. This is the part of the process most people are different. Some people put honey mustard, some people put barbecue. I like to have a pit taste. Well guys, that's going to do it for us here at Merrill Production Outdoors. Hopefully you learned something about cooking some ribs on the grill and everything else. Happy Memorial Day, and we're out.